Yeah, I see that little red button. I got it.
Hello, 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 crazy
Hello.
babies. Hi, welcome back, guys. It's been a long time. We are back with another episode of Jam Sessions, and I'm so super happy to be back doing this. I'm super excited, even more so, to have an old friend of mine be the person who is joining me to kick this program back off. We are here today with Miss Luna Kunst. She is the author of Elevate Your Life with Transformational Yoga. How are you?
I am fine, and you?
I'm fantastic, and I will tell our viewers you're going to be speaking for our hard of hearing friends, and so that they can partake in the video as well. And you'll be using your hands a lot, maybe, or throughout the video. So please, we welcome that, and I'm super excited to have that be part of our show. So tell us about yourself as an author, who you are, and what we'll be talking about today.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna be talking about yoga. Okay, I'm a mother of three, and my last baby so happens to be deaf. So I had to learn sign language. So if you see me talking with my hands, that is why. Um, I am not proficient. I am not fluent. I'm good at it, but so if every once in a while when you see me blah 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 blah, that's why I'm doing it. But I actually have three languages. I speak Spanish too. So, hola, ¿cómo estamos? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jam Sessions. The book is about transforming your life with yoga. And no, it's not just about the movement, and it's not just about humming and breathing. It's a whole different schematic. It's it's a reflection of what I've learned throughout the 13 years that I have been teaching. I've
Mm-hmm.
been actually practicing yoga a lot longer than 13 years, but it really is a reflection on everything I've learned throughout my life and actively as a teacher.
Well, that's awesome, and I do know that a lot of times, especially in the Western civilization, we've come to perceive yoga as our let's get our soy latte, our pumpkin spice latte, and throw our yoga pants on and get our yoga
Yes.
mat. And, it's a very social program, and it's something that's a fad and very cliche. But there are people out there who are knowledgeable about yoga for what it really is. And I think that you're one of those people. And I love that you are taking to the
Oh,
to the
thank you.
community with your knowledge to try to share with people the actual transformational energy that yoga can bring. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So the
Yeah.
first question is about personal transformation. Your book shares how yoga became a tool not only for physical healing after your accident, but also
Yeah.
for processing trauma and reshaping your life perspective. So, looking back, what was the single most surprising or transformative shift that yoga created for you? Something that you never expected in the beginning?
Oh my gosh, I never expected it to bring me so much closer to understanding my faith, to be honest,
Okay.
because you when you practice yoga, the first thing you think about, okay, fine, I'm doing a stretch here and I'm breathing there and I'm getting to connect to my body and be extra bendy or de-stressing, right? They talk a lot about the benefits of those two aspects,
Right.
but
Flexibility.
yeah, but what they don't mention is how it really brings you back to yourself and that connection with something above. So whether you believe in God or Buddha or Allah, whatever language you name it, it's there and it's in here.
Mhm.
And it's you're a part of it as much as so you're a part of it as much as it's a part of you and that flow.
Right.
And when you hear those actual yogis going, oh, we are all one, and people are like, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
I'm not like him. It's it's in an elevated state.
Hmm.
And I get to understand even people I don't agree with,
Hmm.
platforms that I don't understand, instead of having that what most people are feeling nowadays, that hatred, that oh my god, he's so different, I must cancel you out.
Right.
I don't have to agree with what he's saying, but it develops a curiosity of what broke
Hmm.
that allowed you to see that view.
Right, right. And I think that and it's interesting we're segueing into that from yoga, but I think that it all really does It's all very interwoven, because you're right. We can't cancel out differing perspectives from our own, because without that introduction to new information, without seeing people from where they are and through the lens that they see things in, we're never going to be able to understand each other or to grow from each other. Now, in today's environment, that gets real sticky. I like to point
Very
out.
sticky.
Right. Well, and it's very important that we understand that a difference of opinion does not equate to someone limiting your rights or threatening your well-being.
That's correct.
You know,
Absolutely. Or abuse or
right.
trauma
Right.
or anything like that. And I think that those lines are usually blurred, especially
Right.
when it comes to forgiveness and healing.
Setting
And
boundaries.
yeah, setting boundaries. Most people think that if I set a boundary, oh, that means I'm either too harsh or I am that itch. Let's
Right.
just use whatever word you want to put into it. I am that
I'm her.
itch.
I'm her. I'm that girl.
Yeah, I'm too much,
Right.
you know. But a boundary is just, I like to explain this to my clients. A boundary is just a set of rules how to handle you.
Right. Right.
So I'm just giving you my rule book. Hey, by the way, this is how I function.
This is how we're best going to engage with each other.
That's correct. And
That,
if not, okay, well, thank you for playing,
right.
and you can exist,
Right.
but not in my planet.
Right.
This is my planet. This is my world. And you can see your way out.
Exactly.
And that's something I've learned through yoga.
Right. Well, and I think that it's important to bring it back to what you said. The thing that surprised you most was your reconnection with your personal faith, and you welcomed the idea that could be that's varying for people, because I think what you're touching on there is the fact that yoga brings you back to a connection with yourself, whatever your energetic signature is, whatever your faith and your belief system manifest into. You're reconnected with that, like you mentioned, whether that's a Buddha-based belief system or a Christian God-based belief system.
Absolutely.
It's you reconnecting with that part of yourself.
That's correct.
And I think that's really, really, really a cool benefit from yoga that people may not get as much access to, as, like you said, the de-stressing aspect and the let's get flexible aspect.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. Now that segues us into the trauma and healing portion. You write about blending internal family systems therapy and trauma-informed approaches and yoga philosophy. So how do you see yoga uniquely addressing trauma in ways that traditional therapy sometimes cannot?
Well, sometimes talk therapy, we get to talk, right? And the venting is good because that's a big release. But sometimes we need a little bit more than that. It's not just, let me talk my feelings out. Sometimes, we need the help. We need help to understand, okay, so here's my problems. What do I do about it?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? Do I have anything to do? Can I do something about what I'm feeling? Sometimes it's just a matter of the processing. And what the yoga philosophy is trying to tell you is, look, ahimsa is compassion. So sometimes compassion, here in the Western world, when we hear the word compassion, it's all about how I can be compassionate to you. Oh, I have to be nice to you. I got to be this to you. I got to be that. But sometimes we forget we have to be compassionate to ourselves. Do we talk compassionately to ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Do we speak nice about ourselves? When we make a mistake, do we break ourselves down? Are we compassionate about ourselves when we do make mistakes or not?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes we're so compassionate with ourselves and we're not compassionate with others. Like, for example, someone else is dealing with an issue of a trauma that you don't personally understand. Well, that's not me. That's your problem. So it's a disconnection of things. And what the yoga allows you to do is to try to align with all those connections. Like, okay, I may not understand this plateau, but I can understand breaking. I can understand being broken. I can understand not being, not being spoken to. So it gives you views of looking at yourself again. So it provides you tools that you already have.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it's anti-talk therapy. I think it's just an addition to it. It's just a different lens of doing it. Some people therapy work, the talk therapy works and it blossoms, other people need a little bit more than that. Some
Hmm.
people need, okay, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't understand what the heck we're talking about here. I want
Right.
more than that. And it adds on to it. So I wouldn't say it's better than, I would say it's an element with it.
Right. And it does sound like almost taking the talk therapy and then putting it into action. Um,
Yes.
Taking those words, because talking it out can only take you so far, and that does help with
Hmm.
the de-stressing and maybe de-escalating the situation and breaking it down into something you can process and comprehend, but then maybe taking it a step further and putting that into practice, towards yourself and towards other people, like you mentioned. And I think that highlights something that's the topic of conversation right now in society, and that is the importance of empathy. We may not
Yes.
understand, like you said, we may not understand what another person is going through. We can't relate to it. But what we do understand is the need for us to be compassionate or empathetic towards that person while they're going through something we don't understand. I don't have to understand what you're going through for me to know that it's proper for me to have empathy and compassion for you while you go through it. It confuses me. I've never been through it myself. That's an issue that is personal to you. I couldn't tell you from left to right what it's like to go through it. But what I can tell you is that I observe that it is difficult for you to go through. And therefore, I've been through something difficult, and I should understand the need for compassion and empathy in that moment.
And sometimes, let's go back to talk therapy. Sometimes that's the start of it
Mm-hmm.
all. There are plenty of therapists, mental health therapists that I have met that gone through the yoga process as well, and has found it and has used it in a different manner,
Right.
added on to their practice. But to say that, oh, only yoga therapy works, that's neither here nor there. We're not here to attack each other.
Right. Right.
Talk therapy and yoga therapy works together, and in different formats, because there's so many yoga therapists out there. And it's not just for, when you talk about a yoga therapist, we have to work within the scope of what we know.
Mm-hmm.
So I work within the scope of fitness and not necessarily mental health. Mental health, for me, would be whatever I experienced. Now, as a mental health provider, because
Right.
that's a different scope.
Mm-hmm.
I work as a person that's dealt with trauma, because I've had trauma. I've been diagnosed with PTSD due to sexual trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So I work with that. I have certification as a cancer yogi. So yes, work with that. So we work within our scopes of
Mm-hmm.
range. We have doctors that are yoga therapists, and it's all to design a modification, a program that will help with you aligning itself with how yoga aligns with the body, with
Mm-hmm.
you personally.
Right. It's plugging in. I love that. It's plugging it into how it fits your personal
That's
needs.
correct.
That is important,
Yeah.
because there's not really a cookie cutter version that one size fits all.
No.
Everybody's path and existence is very unique, and while other people can be examples and guides
Hmm.
to our own journey, we really have to travel our own path. I may be able to look at you and pull from your journey, and take some things that worked and not use some things that didn't work, and use each other as examples. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's a very personal thing. So, well, and speaking of journeys, you describe healing as a journey that's like a cycle. At
Yeah.
times, there's clarity, but then that's followed by times of being triggered again. So,
Hmm.
what advice would you give a reader who may feel discouraged when their progress doesn't seem linear, and they
Okay.
seem to
Well,
visit old traumas?
how did you react? Did you react any differently than the first time you reacted?
Mm-hmm.
How was the temperature? Was the temperature less hot than it was the last time? How was the emotion? Was it a little bit dense
Mm-hmm.
than it was the first time? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what it means by cyclical instead of linear.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be days that the smell of that same smell that occurred during that sexual trauma is going to bring me back.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to completely fall apart like I would have the first time?
Right.
Like, would I go into shock? Will I
Mm-hmm.
go into this? I may for a quick moment get back into that. But because of the healing processes and the time, the therapy that I went through, I'm allowed to recognize and see, wait a minute, I'm in a safe space. I can give myself that pause, okay, and remind myself, look around. Okay, I'm in my room. Oh, I'm breathing. Okay, I'm gonna breathe. Okay, no one's here. It's just me. So I can go down the checklist
Mm-hmm.
and discover, oh, okay, wait a minute. I'm not in the same place that I was before.
Mm-hmm.
When you're actually in the moment, you may not have that checklist. You may not even remember the checklist. And
Mm-hmm.
that's quite okay. If you can remember one or two, it's better than the first time that we actually occurred,
Mm-hmm.
because we may not have even learned the checklist before. We may have just allowed ourselves to dive on in.
It's
If
like
you give yourself at least a 30-second pause, you're fine.
right. It's like even remembering that there is a checklist to remember next time is even progress.
That's
Um,
correct.
and I think that's important is a lot of times I think we go into healing expecting that that trauma or that experience is going to be erased, that the point of healing is going to be when we forget about it or when it's gone. But it's important that we remember that it is like a cycle and we do revisit it, and each time we
Mm-hmm.
rediscover more and more of our power. So it's going back into a place where we were once powerless and then finding
Mm-hmm.
where we have power and control over our emotions. And like you said, we can pause and take a moment to remind ourselves that we're okay. And I think that you're right, that being real and reminding people that that is actually what the process looks like, that there's not some magical moment where the trauma is gone, where you don't remember it, where it's no longer a part of you, but a more full perspective where you realize that that is something that is part of your journey and is part of your cycle. But each time you revisit it, there's a different level of power, a deeper understanding,
Yeah,
and
we're not washing machines.
right,
That, and every washing machine is different. Like a Samsung washing machine is going to perform different than a Kenmore or whatever the brands are now. They're all different.
I'm impressed that you your brands off the top of your head like that.
There's so many. I mean, let's say that the washing machine gets stuck. The manual is going to tell you, well, you're going to have to unplug it, count to 10, blah, blah, blah. Press the button, count to 10, blah, blah, blah. Plug it in, count to 10, blah, blah, blah. Plug it in, and then it might work. That
Mm-hmm.
might not work for the Kenmore. That might
Mm-hmm.
not work for any other thing. So why
Right.
do we expect to do the same? Why do
Right.
we expect that I'm going to go through this journey? My friend got over it in 3 to 6 months.
Right.
Well, then I should get over it in 3 to 6 months.
Right.
No, everyone is built different. We are,
Mm-hmm.
and thank goodness we're not freaking wash machines, right? We all
Right.
have different programming within us.
We still have
Different things.
we still go through those cycles like washing machines.
Yes, we do go through the cycles, but we're all freaking different. Like we've been inputted by different things, by school, what school we went through, what neighborhood we went through, how our parents raised us, our parents, physical materials, if you guys get what I'm saying, all of that stuff is different. So
Mm-hmm.
then why do we guess and believe, well, okay, fine. So grief is usually 6 to 2 years. You know, it's been 4.
Right.
Get over it.
Right.
Why are we going to be that way? Is
Right.
it easier than 6 months ago?
Right.
Yes. Great. Is it easier than 4 months ago? Great. That should be our level. And
Right.
healing can take its time, and we should all be very cautious with our words and patient with ourselves. I mean, if I don't have the bandwidth to deal with someone that is still grieving after 20 years, then that's not their problem.
Right.
It's mine.
Yeah.
And I can easily say to them, I'm so sorry. That must be devastating. I don't have the current bandwidth to handle that.
Right.
But I can feel for you.
Right.
But I am not the one for you.
Right.
Let's see if we can find someone for you.
Right. Well, and that, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's beneficial to everybody involved to have that
Mhm.
open, clear communication. Um, Now, as far as yoga, redefining yoga, a lot of
Yeah.
people in the West, I think we touched on this earlier. A lot of people, many people in the West, view yoga mainly as a fitness routine. Your book
Yes.
emphasizes yoga as a holistic life practice. So, what do you most want to shift in people's understanding of what yoga truly is? What is the core of that perspective for you that you would really want to initiate a shift in the way people think and view yoga?
Yeah. That the yoga is a whole body experience. Yoga is a whole body experience. It's so it gives you like a list of guidelines
Mm-hmm.
to help you better your life, and it connects you with practices such as asana, which is one of the 8 limbs of yoga. And then it gives you guidelines like the niyamas and the yamas, which are just moral constrictions. And notice that they're just one word with huge concepts. They're not like you must do, you must this, you must that. It's really just concepts. This will improve your life. And it combines your breath as your remote control for your emotions. It really goes on with the understanding that we are complex individuals. And if we go with concepts and go down the checklist, we will be able to add those checklists to everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
So yoga is just, this right here, me pointing my finger, taking it out, coming in, that's yoga.
Right.
Me studying to be have a better life, that's yoga.
Right.
Me eating better, different than yesterday, that's yoga. Being in community is yoga. Yoga is just about being in a way that was trying to align in a peaceful manner, not only with yourself, with your community, and with everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
So
It,
it's really trying to emphasize, yes, we are one, like they
right.
like to say, yes, we are one, but it's all in the molecular standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am similar to that tree. We both have a right to exist.
Right.
I am similar to you. We both are in the human race.
Right.
Now, do we have different flavorings? Yes, we
Right.
are like a box of crayons, but we are crayons.
Right. And I think that you touched on the fact that it's like a lifestyle change. It's not just a quick fix. It's not just
No.
something that you go and try for 6 months. It's about plugging these things into your journey throughout life and how you and your existence interacts with everything and everyone around you.
Yeah.
And how that changes and looks different every day. And any way that you're applying it and any way that you're experiencing progress, even in the smallest ways, is literally yoga in a nutshell.
Hmm.
It's and I like that. It's not it's something you plug in. It's like a diet. You mentioned diet. It's not where you just tackle your weight loss or your physical health
No.
by way of just eating healthy or plugging in a few changes for the week, knocking off a few pounds and then going right back to your old ways. It's more about plugging in, understanding nourishment and how it makes you healthier, or how it may satisfy your weight loss, or whatever it is that you're looking to gain from a healthier lifestyle.
And
Um,
exactly, and what applies to you,
right.
you as the individual, what applies to you. Because if you go according to what asana is just the movements of
Hmm.
yoga. So all those beautiful poses that you see on Instagram, YouTube, and everybody else doing, that's what they're called. They're called asanas. And that's like I said, if you go back to India, they have so many schools that practice asana differently with
Hmm.
so many different focuses, just like karate and martial arts.
Hmm.
You can't just say, well, only Korean karate is the number one or Tai Chi is the number one. There are so many interpretations of those movements,
Right.
and they're so similar. Does that mean that only asana works? No. It's,
Right.
does that mean that someone that's in a wheelchair can't do yoga? No.
Right.
They're just adaptable modifications for them.
Hmm.
Everybody can do yoga depending on your body, and it is all based on you. What
Right.
can you do?
Absolutely. I love that. I love that how personalized yoga can be, and I think that is actually woven into the very fabric of what yoga is how it applies to you personally. How you interact with yoga is yoga itself. What I
Yeah.
do with yoga and how it works for me and how I apply it is yoga. So I think that's a really
Hmm.
cool concept. Now, for you, your path forward. The book is a reflection of your evolving practice, and it's been written after years of training and insight. So, how do you imagine that your yoga journey is going to continue to shape your writing and your teaching, say, over the next decade?
Wow. I love learning, so I'm quite sure that it's gonna look different every time. I mean, when I look back at the old, old videos of myself teaching yoga, I sometimes go, oh my gosh, what that girl didn't know about that cue. That cue is not it. So I'm quite sure I'm going to learn different cues for different bodies. I am quite sure I'm going to learn, like I'm always learning new signs. As you saw that I'm correcting myself when I go like this, I was like, oh, yes, understanding this is sometimes. So yes, I'm going to always be correcting and pinpointing stuff, but I'm hoping that it's even more welcoming and more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've met a lot of individuals that tell me that sometimes they go to yoga class and they don't feel welcomed.
Right.
They feel out of body, out of self. And I hope that whenever they come to my class, that's the opposite that they feel more welcome and more playful in themselves,
Mm-hmm.
in their body, stuff like that.
Right.
Um, I'm hoping I'll give you a little sneak peek because I haven't told anyone, but I'll tell you because you're my friend.
Breaking
Um,
news!
uh,
Breaking news, everybody!
yeah, so in another pseudonym, it won't be under my name, and under a pseudonym, I'm thinking about writing a fictional book that has very human situations and how the girl who happens to be a yoga therapist reacts
Right.
with this very toxic friend that we all have,
Mm.
and then how we approach that, and how she uses her Spanish background, her Spanish spirituality to bring her forth to it. So
We're gonna call
it
it
now.
we're gonna call it fiction, but
Yeah,
I'm getting the vibe
it's
that there's a
fiction.
little nonfiction to this.
It,
Uh,
It's
hey,
it's fiction. It's a fiction, maybe based on reality, but like you said, names have changed, or everything has to be protected. But I'm
right.
quite sure we all have that friend. We all have
Oh,
that one individual that tests the button and shines that certain button. And how do we react?
right.
Well, in this world today, it's either we curse them out or violence occurs. Is
Hmm.
there another way?
Right.
Is there another mannerism? Is having a violent thought but not acting on it okay?
Right.
Because oh my gosh, is it okay? Is it normal? Am I
Right.
going to get in trouble for this? But I want it to be more real
Right.
and more authentic. And I don't want people coming to my yoga classes and saying, oh, okay, I have to be quiet.
Right.
Farting is not allowed.
Ah,
Oh my gosh, I can't laugh. I'm going to snore. This is no, have
right.
fun,
Right.
be loud. I constantly tell people this is not Planet Fitness. So I want to hear you breathe. I want to hear you make noise.
We'll bleep the name calling out.
Sorry. Ooh, ooh. This isn't a certain fitness group that
There
we
goes
have
my
to be.
membership. Oh goodness.
This is not a certain fitness group that tends to you can't make noise. Be
Right.
be for real. You know, we want to have fun, and I
Right.
want you to understand that life is short. And yes, there are times to be serious, and there's time to be quiet. But you can have fun in the quiet. There's so many messages that your body's trying to tell you each and every day, and you can either hear it in the silence or you can hear it at play. You
Hmm.
don't have to Meditation doesn't have to be all scary and mysterious. Playing music is meditation, dancing is meditation, and being silly can be very meditative as well.
Hmm.
It's about I want it to be relatable. So
Right.
I see
Easy.
myself being more trying to make yoga very relatable
Mhm.
while honoring, not discarding the actual its cultural identity. Because I think
Mhm.
that's another thing that's been happening. You know, yoga has been transformed into this mystical subculture that it erased its own history from India
Right.
and how it was meant to be taught and how it was meant to be designed and how it was meant to be embraced.
Right.
And I want to remind people how to be more appreciative
Right.
of it.
That's actually amazing, and that actually to me sounds like that might be the message and the purpose of this book. So I would encourage listeners, if you want to learn more about yoga, if you want to learn how it can be applicable to your life, how it is more relatable than you might think, while also honoring the core of what it is and the authenticity of its origins, then grab Elevate Your Life with Transformational Yoga by Luna Kunst. And where can they do that? Where can they get your book?
Right now, they can get it at Amazon. I am hoping that a publisher picks this up and expands it to your bookstore. But for right now, it is Amazon that you can find it. Or if you don't want to purchase from Amazon, I totally understand. It's also on flipchart5.com. It's
Flipchart
and
5.
that is that's an ebook platform online. You can get it from there, and it's on my Etsy store too. That you can actually download a copy. The Etsy store has some exclusive features, like exclusive practices that you can try. So go ahead and
Okay.
go check it out.
And how do they find your Etsy store? What, what-
Oh, so my Etsy store is called NuReveal Yoga Wellness.
okay.
So
Maybe once we post this video, you can go under the comments and maybe provide links or something.
absolutely,
I think New Reveal
sure.
is spelled NuReval. Um,
Yeah, so if
that's
I think of it as the new you, so if I
okay.
was to do sign language, is the NU, right? So this is the new you reveal yoga.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think this is definitely a book that anybody looking to have a lifestyle change. This is something they're going to want to check out. I'm excited to. You've sent me a copy. I'm excited to dive deep
Yeah.
into it and learn more about yoga than I thought I knew. Um, and find out how I can apply that. It's something I've definitely wanted to embark on a lot deeper journey with. So again, we appreciate you coming to Jam Sessions today, and
Oh, thank you for having me.
absolutely, we are excited to have you back when you get that fiction book written,
Yes.
and, or your anonymous pen name can come back and join us. We'll
Yep.
dim the lights and maybe
Yeah,
have.
yep, it'll be closed off. That's right.
Well, it was exciting having you, and I appreciate your time today. And until next time, crazy babies, bye.